Now, this is a really great story. A Northampton poet is going global. James McInerney has recently launched the Poetry Project. His work has spread all over the world, and he actually joins me on the line now. Morning, James.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it's early on a Sunday for some of us. What got you into poetry originally?
Well, I watch a film. It was about 1998. I started watching movies, and I loved that emotional part of the film where the music kicks in, the instrumental kind of film score. And I got kind of, I love that kind of music, and that's what I kind of like. And I started kind of listening to them after the film and thinking, and it made me feel things, made me wanted to write something about the film or about how I felt at the time. And it was just for fun. I got into writing down how I felt because it made me feel things. It made me kind of deal with things and help me get through things. And that's how it really started. And that was 1998, which is a long time ago.
Wow, yes. So you've been doing this for a good amount of time then. So here comes the Poetry Project. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it started again in December 2018 as again a social experiment. I didn't really know what I was doing with it. Had the idea of my work was popular online, and I thought, what if we take it out into the real world? How will that look if people see these positive, empowering messages on display? December 2018, TfL staff started writing them on the service information boards on the London Underground, and it kind of took off, went viral overnight. And they went across all the undergrounds, the train stations, the airports. London Stansted had it for 2 years. And then 2019 across the whole of the UK, anywhere that was public, very busy with the project. And then from there to America and Australia, and just we've kind of been around the world with the project, worked with places like Nokia, Network Rail, the World Horticultural Society for a whole year. We've been in the Bullring, Corn Exchange, Blue Water, New Zealand, Australia, America, so a social experiment is kind of gone viral around the world, and we're over 4 years old now.
Gosh, wow, how incredible. That must have felt like the first time you kind of saw it on London Underground and things. That must have felt quite surreal, no?
It was really amazing. I just got tagged in an Instagram post. I didn't think it would do anything. And then it just kind of took a life of its own. Like I say, it's about mental health awareness. It's about making people pause and reflect and stop. And it's about saving lives. And like I say, it started off as something I didn't think it would do anything. And now, over 4 years later, we're saving lives. We're around the world. We're working with amazing places, everything from grassroots communities to councils to corporate and everything else in between.
What inspired you to put out these powerful messages?
Well, I love writing. I love kind of bringing the books out, meeting the fans, doing signings, etc. But as much as I love that, I kind of felt I wanted to do more, and I wanted to give back and help people. And I always felt as though there was something more I wanted to do. And poetry for me was like a stepping stone to get into that more. And that more is about a selfless act, helping people around the world, like saving lives. And for me, that's very fulfilling.
You've also released your 6th novel now as well. So you're a busy man, James. What's that all about?
Well, it ain't out. It's not out yet. It comes out December. It actually is again, poetry. It's a collection of poems like all my books. My first one came out in 2013. So we're almost at September 2013. So we're almost at that 10-year anniversary of the first ever book, which is crazy when you look at it like that. But yeah, in between that, just my books come out. I do it for the fans because the fans really followed me on social media all over the years. I've got a good following. And like I say, the books are a collection of poems, all different emotions that resonate with me, but also resonate with people and help them as well.
You mentioned you found out about your work on TfL originally through social media, like being tagged. Obviously, you've grown this following. How much has social media helped in your career? And when did it start helping? Because obviously back in 98, when you started kind of doing this, it wouldn't have been a huge thing, obviously. Was that quite a recent thing?
Well, social media, 98, it was news groups, email news groups. And I started posting how I felt on the kind of chat boards. And then as I kind of built up a following, Facebook came about, Twitter, Instagram, all those kind of built up. And I just kind of went onto those platforms. And yeah, since like Instagram is really, really popular because that's where everyone is, but all the socials really, I just like having places to share my work with people that follow my work and see the response. And for me, you've got a ready-made audience there. You've got a massive, amazing community of people that are really respectful and really drive you forward in terms of writing.
Yeah, and it seems like you are, because if you use social media well, then it really is a great source. What do you think is next for you? I mean, you've done loads already. You've got your book coming out. What have you got planned in the pipeline?
Well, book 7's in the works, so that's another thing. I produce books all the while. I have a lot to write about, so they get put into a book. Again, it's building the project, making it bigger, making it, getting it out to the masses to help people, to save lives, and as well as going across the UK and doing amazing things in Northampton, and then obviously the UK, it's then building it around the world. Going more into America, Australia, other countries, and just people are people, regardless of where they live. So it's about helping people.
Well, it's amazing what you're doing. The work is beautiful, so keep it coming as you will. Where can people follow you?
Yeah, so for the project, it's Poetry Project 08, and that's on Twitter and Instagram. And for me personally is Mills, MILLS MC07, Mills MC07 on Instagram and Twitter. And you can follow my books, my work, and everything on there as well.
James, thank you for your time this morning, and thanks for sharing your work with the world. How amazing. Northampton poet there, James McInerney, who has launched the Poetry Project. You can give him a follow on Mills MC07 on your socials, and Poetry Project as well. What a great story.